Good afternoon, everyone here. Thank you, introducer, for introducing me. Fellow presenters, professional colleagues, learner, academicians, delegates, friends. My area of interest on today is library, rethinking roles, rethinking space. Since the conference is related to the space and content management, and also we are in a position to rethink our roles. We are in the state of transformations, that is from the physical library to virtual library. In this context, my paper is focusing on certain aspects. First, let me begin with this is my outline. Not worry about that. As everybody agreed that library is part of an institution or place, both symbolically as well as in its physical placements. It serves as a visual anchor for the surrounding buildings and campus. As a knowledge center, library as a place assumed as an important place reflected in its architecture as well as in its site. So somebody also emphasized the fifth law of library science of Ranganathan. Library is a growing organism. As per the fifth law of library science, there are many elements or components are there. Material, staff, users, and space are considered as a component or the elements in a library. Library is an organism. It is evident from many cases that all the elements are continuously growing except the physical space. With this preamble, I would like to emphasize in this presentation or in this paper with certain aims. One is, what is the space management in libraries and how it is important or why it is important if library space considers a social piece. That is my focus of presentations. And also, is the virtual library solution to space problem in libraries. And also, I try to give some solutions in relating to library considered as a social space, as well as what is the space, the solution to the space problem by using the social networking site or media for the overcome the certain problems. When we come to library space, we have to think it in two ways. Number one, how we can use properly the existing physical base, and also how to find out the alternative to the physical space. And also one of the major concerns today's librarian regarding the managing the space in the library. So with this preamble, basically the existing libraries are planned or designed to place as a place to collect, access, preserve, and print collections only. In general, we incline to think that space in library used primarily for storing books, but most university libraries use considerably more space for readers than for books. Space for staff, catalog, entrance lobby, corridor, staircase, exhibition, and many other uses. The space consumed because the building is monumental as well as the poorly planning. With multiple expectations apart from the space for library purpose, it is used as a community commons, space sharing for the classroom purposes and also for computer commons. So when you come to library as a physical or a visual anchor, it inclined with certain problems That is what Lee and Keppel 2012 emphasized. There is no visibility, connectivity, and layout complexity, and also you can see the unfamiliarity among the users. When you come to the proper utilization of optimization of space, we need to have a proper utilization. That is what many cases has been given as example in this flow. What I want to emphasize is the available technologies made it possible to the optimum utilization of space, or I mean the physical space as I emphasized here. But we are not in a position to how to reduce the collection or selection weeding out does not seem to be an agenda for any library in relation to the space management. There are some suggestions regarding the optimum usage of space, tranquils and logs outlined. You can be able to do certain measures so that you can use your library very proper manner. For example, here they have mentioned about move lower use books to the library annex, arrangement of books. For example, he emphasized that, they emphasize instead of arranging the book by call number wise, you can use as size wise, forecast popular and high growth areas so that you can have a certain collection development policies, and also you may have a buffer room so that you can move unused and unutilized books for a certain place. Now I come to the core of my emphasis, that is library considers a social space. Library space is generally considered as a social space. The idea of social library reflects the trend such as change in the learning and teaching methods in academic institutions. The library space is being used for other social activity, not only for the purpose of learning and also for meeting with others, or you can make a discussion, etc. In Western countries, university libraries have been built with response to the current trends. That is, library is considered as a social space, so they may have meeting discussions going on that. So, library is being considered as a social space. What are the social or community commons or social space in an educational institutions? For example, if the campus, college campus, these include chapel, pedestrian parental pathways, garden or natural areas, gymnasium or recreation center, cafeteria or other eating places, student center, museum and library. So among the various community commons or social space, you can see library as one of the busiest or most welcoming space on college campus. What is the use of this social community commons? People do not travel in the same disciplinary, social, political or economic circles, frequently meet and greet each other in the common spaces, helping build and maintain large sense of communities. So, well-run and well-designed library serve in effect as a form of academic community centers. When you come to rethinking roles, so in these situations, library is a social space, it considers a community commons. So what is the rethinking roles right now? We are in the world of ICT environment, particularly in academic libraries. There is no need to define itself as a place where users go to access the materials physically. That is, everything is online or their gadgets. Become a service point for providing information resources and services to their users. They seek even if they never sat foot in the library physically. Users expect to get everything at the desk and in gadgets without spending much time, cost and effort. This is what users rethinking role. When you come to the situations, we are in the transformation. That is what I have mentioned about in a preamble, that we are in a transformation stage. we are moving, slowly moving, or some of the libraries are moving to virtual or electronic library. So the previous speakers also emphasized that automations certainly save certain spaces or certain activity which you are doing manually. And also the other technology which you are be aware of, the internet, the changing pattern of the collection building have had the most effect upon the library space needs. The more digital resources became available, academic library are collecting fewer physical material and often discarding part of the physical collection. That is what happening most of the libraries in India as well as the abroad. Digital resources are popular among the users because of their convenient to use and other purposes. When you come to virtual library, I don't want to emphasize, all of you are familiar with virtual library, user without any record to physical place or locations. I mean, they can able to access their desktop or CAD-kits. But RICO in the year 2001 emphasized certain disadvantages. One of the major problems as far as the virtual library, digital library, I am using it synonymically. Everything is not available in digital format. The scope and coverages are varied. Particularly, I want to emphasize many older generation also emphasize that users are not most comfortable with are most comfortable using books. So, a digital library is not any. When you think about a virtual library or digital library, it is not a single entity. It requires technology and also it links to resources in many collections so that we need collaboration, cooperation and so on. And also if you want to plan the digital library or virtual library, if you have, it needs certain infrastructure, particularly IT infrastructure, digitization process, access facility, staffing, furniture, equipment, space, services, and funding. This is what Trivedi emphasized. So what we can understand, even though if you have a virtual library, we have to have some planning and also it also requires some spaces. When you come to social networking, that is what I have emphasized, that how we can able to reach the unreached using the social networking site or media. So that is what how it is occupied everyone's life nowadays. So librarians are using the social channels so as a tool for instruction, particularly online collaboration, curations and sharing and practicing inquiry. That is what Stack and Dickinson emphasized. With this point, I want to conclude with, so it involves collection, proper utilization of space which already exists, and also we are in the transformation stage. We are moving from the physical library to virtual. In this context, we have to do certain things. One is we have to have certain collection development policies. So because we are not in a position to go for transformations without having the who are your user or what is your library, what is your purpose of your library. So in this case, we need some guidelines. Important component in the guidelines would be define the objective of library. For the case of repository library or a depository library, as I think that our John will go into emphasize, is repository is a physical repository. It is not an electronic repository. In this case, the purposes will be, we can't go for the virtual and so on. So the library should formulate the guidelines with certain factors. This is what given in my paper. And also, when you come to conclusion that space is big issues. So digital technology cannot completely wash out the print collections, but it can make substantial impact on print collection. That is what I emphasize. At the same time, with the library space as a social space, we have to spend the cost for that. So finally, I would like to say the virtual library will dominate in future. At the same time, we cannot totally away from the print books. So their there may be a blend of